Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips MLB Daily Fantasy Preview Show for today, the 15th of June. I'm going to be taking a look at everything you're going to need to taste success on Daily Fantasy website DraftKings today in the baseball games. I'm going to be taking a look at starting pitchers, stacks of the day, how we can construct our rosters to ensure maximum point scoring potential, foundation players, the players we should be using as the foundation upon which to build a solid lineup, and our value plays of the day. For anyone who hasn't signed up for DraftKings and wants to play Daily Fantasy Sports, I will put a link in the description to this video to enable you to do so today. I'm going to get right into the show with starting pitchers. My favourite player pitcher today, San Francisco Giants, Johnny Cueto. He's 12,800. Cueto has been simply superb this year, bar maybe one shaky start against the Dodgers. The Brewers strike out amongst the most in base teams in baseball, and Cueto, while below the average for strikeouts, does have 81 in 95 and 2/3 this year. AT&T's a great park. He's my top pitching play today, and I'm fading Clayton Kershaw. Maybe because I'm stupid, maybe it's because he has had a few issues against the Diamondbacks down the years, and there are some Diamondbacks that do hit left-handers very well. Not just any left-hander though, is he? Let's be honest. Steven Strasburg of the Washington Nationals. He's 12,300. He is potentially the only pitcher who qualifies as a must-start against the Chicago Cubs. Strasburg has 110 strikeouts in 86 innings this year. The Cubs are slightly above average when it comes to striking out. Strasburg has really found consistency on a new level this year. And as I say, he's usually a must-start. The Cubs... yeah. Stephen Wright, the Boston Red Sox, 11,100. Wright has been arguably Boston's best pitcher this year. The knuckleballer has experienced success against the Orioles. He threw a complete game the last time he saw them. He has been better on the road than he has at Fenway, which will be a concern when paying these prices. But Baltimore's lineup does offer incredible strikeout upside. Adam Wainwright of the St. Louis Cardinals for 8,300. Wainwright has his off-speed stuff, in particular the curveball, working again. He's a couple of solid starts behind him. He gets to pitch in his home yard against an Astros team that he has historically dominated. The Astros lead Major League Baseball in strikeouts. Wainwright's numbers are not great for getting the punch-outs. They should spike today, and he did get 9 strikeouts the last time on the hill against the Reds with the curveball working. So he does have potential to at least match that number today. And finally at pitcher, Jeff Locke of the Pittsburgh Pirates for 5,600. I think he's usable today, and obviously he is cheap. The Mets are a team that has some injuries. They are better against right-handed pitching. Now, while Locke will be pitching on the road, it is at Citi Field, which is far from unpleasant for a pitcher, and the Mets do strike out the 6th most amongst teams in baseball. Locke is far from a big strikeout pitcher. I'm aware of that. His high on the year is 8 strikeouts in a game, but this will allow you to go and get some bats today. And I think, I normally would steer clear of someone like Locke, but I think today could be an exception. And I do think he's usable with reasonable upside as well. Looking at our stacks of the day, obviously it is a Coors Field day. Looking at the pitching matchup, I think every bat is in play at Coors today. Stack as many of them in your lineups as you can in whatever position. I'm not going to go through them because you really can use anyone who's in the lineup. Conditions forecast look pretty good as well. Looking at other stacks you can use today, the Minnesota Twins. Now, it's unusual to stack them. They are a low-scoring offense, but Hector Santiago will pitch in opposition for the Angels today. He's got an ERA around 12 over his last 5 starts. Despite this being a nice park for a pitcher, the Twins do have potential to do some damage to Santiago because they do have power, albeit inconsistent power, in their lineup. We'll look at first baseman Byung-Ho Park for 3,600. You could use Mauer if you want to pay a little bit more. Park is 207, 11 homers on the year. Hits from the right side of the platoon in this matchup. Eduardo Nunez qualifies at 3rd and short. He's 4,500. He has 2 home runs off of Hector Santiago. 317 this year with 9 homers. Outfielder Robbie Grossman's been crushing it. He's 3,500. 333 with 5 homers. Had a home run a couple of nights ago. As did third baseman Trevor Plouffe, who's 3,600 with 240 average and 5 home runs on the year. As I say, all 4 of those enjoyed a platoon advantage over Hector Santiago today, who is, quite frankly, horrid. I think it's perfectly feasible to stack the St. Louis Cardinals against Colin McHugh as well. Third baseman Matt Carpenter, 5,100, crushes right-handed pitching, hits from the leadoff spot, 329 homers this year. Shortstop 11 is Diaz for 3,800. Usually hits right behind him. He's platoon proof. He's 315, 8 homers a year. First baseman Matt Adams should be in the lineup, hitting from the right side of the platoon today. He's 3,400, 329 homers. And Brandon Moss, who qualifies at first and in the outfield, is 4,100. He hits from the right side of the platoon. Only hits for 258 this year, but he has got 15 home runs. And I also think there's potential for Marlins lefties as well, stacking against Luis Perdomo, who has a very, very high ERA for the San Diego Padres, although obviously the Marlins don't have a great deal of power, it appears. I thought they did coming into the season, but they seem to be hitting for average more than power, and it's not a great ballpark to be hitting in because it's at Petco. But we can stack outfielder Christian Yelich for 5,300, who hits from the right side of the platoon, 318, 5 homers this year. Second baseman Derek Dietrich for 4,000. He's 296, 3 homers, also has the platoon, as does first baseman Justin Bour. He's 4,000 as well, and he's 251, got 10 home runs on the year. My foundation players today: at first baseman, he's facing a right-hander, so you know it's who it's going to be. It's David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox for 5,500. It isn't rocket science. Puppy has destroyed right-handers all year. He's got 2 home runs off of Gausman, who's on the opposition today for Baltimore. He's hitting 338 with 16 home runs this year. At second base is Daniel Murphy of the Nationals for 4,900. He'll enjoy the platoon against Hamill. He leads the majors in batting average. He's 361. He's hitting this year, and he's got 11 home runs as well. At third base, I will take Matt Carpenter of the St. Louis Cardinals for 5,100. He's hitting 284, 10 home runs. The leadoff man does have the platoon over McHugh, who is capable on a bad day of being really, really bad. He's allowed 4 runs in each of his last 2 starts. He is struggling at the moment. At shortstop, Trevor Story of the Colorado Rockies for 5,300. Even Nova pitches for the Yanks today. He has allowed at least 1 home run every start. This game will take place at Coors Field. Story is a 265 hitter with 17 home runs this year, and he hit 1 out yesterday. And in the outfield, same game, other team, Jacoby Ellsbury of the New York Yankees for 5,200. He'll enjoy the platoon advantage over the struggling Chad Bettis. He's 285, 3 homers this year, but he does have 12 stolen bases to further our upside in the game at Coors today. My value plays today: at catcher, it's Wellington Castillo of the Arizona Diamondbacks for 2,400. He has very good numbers against left-handed pitchers. It's a nice park at Chase Field. I get it's an awful matchup with Clay Kershaw, but let's see what wins out here. He's a 271 hitter, 7 homers the year. At first base, I'll take Dae-Ho Lee of the Seattle Mariners. He's 3,100. He has a home run off of Drew Smyly. Hits from the right side of the platoon. 296, 10 homers this season. My second baseman is the switch-hitting Jed Lowry of the Oakland Athletics for 3,600. I nearly said the Raiders then. He's hitting 306 with 1 home run, but he does have a home run off of Derek Holland in his career. The park obviously is a negative at the Coliseum. My third baseman is Trevor Plouffe of the Minnesota Twins for 3,600. He gets Hector Santiago, who has just been dreadful the last 5 starts. He has the platoon advantage, 245 homers this year. My shortstop, I'm going to stick with Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox for $2,000, the minimum. He had a good night with a couple of doubles last night. He's been hitting out the leadoff spot. He's hit 300 every level he's played at through the minors. And Mike Pelfrey at the cell is a nice matchup, so I see no reason why Anderson should not be included in your lineups. And again, he'll give you the opportunity to pay up for some of the big bats at Coors if you do use him. And in the outfield, I'll take Yasmani Tomas of the Arizona Diamondbacks for 2,400. He's got great weighted on base average and hard hit percentage numbers against left-handed hitters. Again, it is Kershaw, but let's just test this out. Let's see how he gets on today. 2,400's cheap. You don't want to take a 0. He could surprise you. That's all I've got for you today. Best of luck with your lineups. I'll be back tomorrow. See you later. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to like the video. Hit me up in the comments with the daily fantasy plays you like today, and press that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be here all MLB season and through the NFL season with daily fantasy sports advice. If you haven't signed up yet, or you're interested in starting to play daily fantasy sports, please click the link in the description for this video, and that'll take you where you need to go to start playing with DraftKings today. Best of luck with your lineups, and have a great day.